1,000 years since Ghazni's invasion, Aurangzeb came after him. The temple that has survived it all, now standing tall in its glory. This is the story of Somnath's resilience.
Well, the Somnath Temple, the eternal shrine of Lord Shiva, the foremost of the 12 Jyotirlingas, has stood on the western shores of Gujarat for millennia, witnessing cycles of divine grace, human devotion, destruction, and triumphant rebirth. Hello and welcome to Xplained by NewsX with me, Vineet Malhotra, as we stand on the 10th of January 2026, exactly 1,000 years after the infamous attack by Mahmud of Ghazni in January 1026, and amidst the ongoing Somnath Swabhiman Parv celebrations, let us trace this profound 1,000-year-old saga in detail. Imagine the endless Arabian Sea crashing against the Prabhas Patan near Varawal here, where three mythical rivers converge in the Triveni Sangam. Lord Shiva manifested as an infinite pillar of light, the Jyotirlinga. Ancient texts like the Shiva Purana, Skand Purana and Mahabharata revere this Tirtha as sacred from primordial times. Legends whisper that in the Satya Yuga, the moon god Soma built the first temple in gold after Lord Shiva lifted his curse of waning light. In Treta Yuga, Ravana built the temple in silver. In Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna in sandalwood and later kings in stone. This site also marks where Krishna shed his mortal form, ascending to the divine. The temple's architecture glory peaked under the Solanki or Chalukya dynasty from the 9th to the 13th centuries. Kings like Bhima I and Kumarapala erected grand structures in the Maru Gurjara style, intricate stone carvings without mortar, towering shikharas, pillared mandapas flooded with natural light, projections and recesses playing with shadows, and niches filled with deities, foliage and epic motifs. Persian travelers like Al-Biruni and Al-Qazvini described a marvel: the Jyotirlinga levitating in midair, suspended by magnetic forces from lodestones in the ceiling, an iron or meteorite-based lingam, and diamagnetic bismuth in the floor. This floating idol symbolized divine power and ancient India's mastery of magnetism and metallurgy, a wonder that awed invaders and devotees alike. But prosperity drew plunder. The most infamous and symbolically charged destruction occurred exactly 1,000 years ago. In early January 1026 CE, Mahmud of Ghazni, the Turkish ruler of Ghaznavid Empire, launched his 15th to 17th raid into India, targeting the wealthy and revered Somnath Temple during the reign of Chalukya Solanki, King Bhima I. Mahmud's army of around 30,000 cavalry crossed the Thar desert, facing resistance at various points, including from local warriors at Mundhera and Delvada, and upon reaching Prabhas Patan, he besieged the fortified temple complex. Defenders, including Brahmin priests, pilgrims and garrison soldiers, fought fiercely, believing the deity would protect them. Persian chroniclers describe how on a Friday during Jamua prayers, the invaders scaled the walls and amid heavy arrow fire, overwhelmed the resistance and entered the sanctum. The Jyotirlinga was shattered with pickaxes and fire. Fragments were carried back to Ghazni as trophies, reportedly used as steps at the Jami Mosque to be trampled. The temple was looted of immense wealth, estimated at 20 million dinars in gold, jewels and other treasures, and razed. Accounts mention massacres of defenders and pilgrims. This raid not only plundered riches but aimed at iconoclastic humiliation, boosting Mahmud's prestige in the Islamic world as an idol breaker. The event left deep scars in Indian memory, symbolizing the start of large-scale temple desecrations in the medieval period. And after reconstruction under kings like Bhima I and Kumarapala, who rebuilt in grand Maru Gurjara style with jewels and stone, the temple faced renewed assault during the Delhi Sultanate era. In 1299 BC, Alauddin Khilji's general Ulugh Khan, also called Alaf Khan, invaded Gujarat, defeating Waghela king Karna. The army sacked Somnath, looting treasures and causing significant damage or abandonment. Persian historian Hassan Nizami's Tajul Masir boasts of 50,000 infidels dispatched to hell and vast slaves cattle seized, reflecting the brutal scale. The temple was desecrated, with some accounts claiming the idol was taken to Delhi. This marked a pattern of systemic conquest and religious suppression under Khilji's expansionist policies. The cycle continued under local Muslim rulers. In 1395 BC, Zafar Khan Muzaffar Shah I, the founder of the independent Gujarat Sultanate, after breaking from Delhi, destroyed the temple for the third major time in records. This assault further weakened the structure, turning parts into ruins or repurposed sites. Additional attacks occurred under successors like Muzaffar Shah and Mahmud Baghara, contributing to repeated desolation. By the 14th and 15th centuries, the temple saw periodic rebuilding by local kings like Chudasma, ruler Mahipala I in 1308 BC, with the lingam installation by his son Khengara around 1331. But invasions kept disrupting continuity. Under Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, known for orthodox policies and temple demolitions across India, Somnath suffered its final major pre-modern destruction. In 1665, Aurangzeb issued a farman ordering the demolition of temples rebuilt against prior imperial commands, explicitly targeting Somnath. Though initial execution was partial or delayed, worship reportedly continued sporadically due to local officials and their leniency. A stronger order came in 1706, just before Aurangzeb's death, commanding complete destruction beyond possibility of repairs and conversion into a mosque. This was carried out to some extent, with the site left in ruins and partially repurposed. The temple structure became so weakened that by the 18th century, Maharani Ahilya Bai Holkar built a smaller adjacent shrine, the Ahilya Bai Temple, in 1783 to ensure uninterrupted worship. And after centuries of ruins, India's independence in 1947 sparked a powerful revival of the Somnath Temple. On November the 12th, 1947, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel visited Junagadh during its integration crisis. Deeply moved by the desecrated site, he declared its reconstruction a national duty and symbol of cultural resurgence. Following Mahatma Gandhi's advice, no government funds were used. The Sri Somnath Trust, led by K.M. Munshi, raised donations from the public, over 25 lakh rupees by 1949, with the final cost around 24.92 lakhs. Work progressed rapidly. The ruins of the old structure, including the existing mosque on the site, were demolished in October 1950, with the site cleared using construction in vehicles to relocate remnants a few kilometers away. Active rebuilding began shortly thereafter, led by K.M. Munshi, executed by Gujarat's renowned Sompura Salats, traditional master mason specializing in temple architecture. The chief architect was Pravashan Karban Ogabhai Sompura, who designed the temple in the classic Maru Gurjara style known as Kailash Mahameru Prasad. The primary material used was yellowish sandstone sourced locally to match the aesthetic and durability of ancient predecessors. This finely dressed stone gives the temple its warm, glowing appearance, especially under sunlight, and allows for the intricate interlocking carvings without mortar, a hallmark of these techniques. Some sources note variations like reddish or pinkish tones in historical context, but the 1951 reconstruction prominently features this golden yellow variety for its luminous quality against the Arabian Sea backdrop. Alright, well, the temple, the entire reconstruction from site clearance to completion took less than a year, with the temple fully built and ready for consecration by May 1951, roughly 7 months of intense on-site work after October 1950 demolition. On May 11, 1951, India's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, performed the Prana Pratishtha ceremony of the Jyotirlinga amidst massive crowds and declaring it a triumph of reconstruction over destruction. In fact, listen in to Dr. Rajendra Prasad had to say about the temple being rebuilt.
अनंत काल से तीर्थ स्थान रहा है और बावजूद इसके कि इस पर समय समय पर विपत्तियां आती गईं, यह हमेशा पुनर्जीवित होता रहा और अपने गौरव को आज तक हमेशा बनाया रहा।
Well, today in 2026, 75 years since that consecration, the Somnath Swabhiman Parv honors the millennium of survival. Prime Minister Modi attended key events including Omkar chanting, drone shows and gatherings of saints. Year-long activities celebrate unbroken faith, women's roles in temple service and Porbandar's historic contributions. From mythological origins and magnetic wonders to repeated invasions and modern revival, Somnath teaches that destruction may scar stone, but devotion rebuilds empires of the spirit. Invaders fade, faith endures as waves lap the shores and the sun sets over the sea. Somnath remains India's soul, resilient, eternal, and victorious.
1000 years since Ghazni's invasion, Aurangzeb came after him. The temple that has survived it all, now standing tall in its glory. This is the story of Somnath's resilience.